Hi, I'm Representative Jerry Knowles. I represent the 124th District, and I would like to welcome you to today's edition of Legislative Report. I invite you to sit back and enjoy the program.
Did you know that the Pennsylvania Farm Show's history goes all the way back to 1851? Originally organized as a state fair by the Pennsylvania Agricultural Society, it was discontinued in 1899. It wasn't until 1916 that Charles Patton, the Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture, worked with others to develop a new agricultural fair which debuted in January 1917. It was in 1925 that the roots were laid for the farm show that we know today. The show had grown so large that 40,000 attendees were traveling to various sites all around Harrisburg. During this year, the Pennsylvania State Department of Agriculture took control of the event, and the legislature had decided to appropriate money that gave birth to the Farm Show complex. Finally, in 1931, the main exhibition building opened and welcomed 150,000 visitors to the show that year. Over the years, the Farm Show has continued to grow. Various events showcasing animals, products, and skills were added to the event. The Farm Show complex has also continued to grow, with more buildings and arenas being added over the years. The count stands at 24 acres inside 11 buildings and 3 arenas. Today, the show hosts approximately 6,000 animals, 10,000 competitive exhibits, and 300 commercial exhibits, along with over 500,000 visitors. Since the doors to the main exhibition building opened, the Farm Show has become the world's biggest indoor agricultural event. Now you know.
I'm here with an old friend and a Schuylkill Countyan, lifelong Schuylkill Countyan, I might add, and that would be Baron Boots Hetherington, and we have the opportunity every year to talk to Boots. And Boots is serving currently as the fair administrator for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Boots, it's always good to see you. How are you doing?
Very good, sir. It's good to see you again. I know you're always a regular at the farm show. You get down every year and visit us. As you say, I do visit the local fairs across Pennsylvania all summer. We have 109 agricultural fairs that take place, and this is sort of our state fair. People compete in baking contests and livestock shows all summer long, come to the farm show for sort of the grand championship. And you've always been a big supporter. I see you at the Schuylkill County Fair and also down in Berks County at the Kempton Community Fair. You've always been a big supporter, and we appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate what you do, Boots. It's funny, I was talking to Representative Dave Millard a bit earlier, and you know his history with fairs. There's nothing more near and dear to his heart than fairs. And I said, well, Representative, it's almost a fair. And he said, yeah, it almost is a fair. But Boots, it just amazes me when I come here, and we had talked before, and this is the 99th farm show. My gosh, for something to survive that long, and it just continues to be a success year after year after year. What do you attribute that to? I mean, what is so good about this farm show that people continue to come back?
Well, obviously it has changed. I remember my 50th. I was 11 years old for the 50th farm show. Came with my dad and my Uncle Claude, and they wore white shirts and suits and ties, and they negotiated new equipment. Now, since that time, a lot fewer people are involved in farming, and the farm show has morphed more into a agricultural celebration. We expect 500,000 visitors this week, and it's a great way for us to show our non-farm friends and neighbors all about agriculture, all about livestock, all about farm equipment, all about all the things we do on our farms. And like I say, it has changed over the years because our society has changed. Right now, one farmer feeds 155 people himself. That's a far cry from what it was back in the 30s and 40s. So we've had to change, but change for the better. This is the largest agricultural exposition in the United States, under 24 acres here on the roof. There'll be over 6,000 animals compete here. There'll be more than 10,000 competitive exhibits, winemaking, Christmas trees, fruits, vegetables, nuts, needlepoint, baking contests. So there's also 300 commercial exhibitors here showing off their wares, and so it's like I say, it's the largest exposition in the United States.
But talk a little bit about when we talk to some people and we say farm show. You touched on it a little bit, but when we talk about agriculture and we talk about farming, what all exactly we know that it takes in cows but what all a farmer, what do you need to do for a living to be a farmer?
Well, Pennsylvania is a very diverse agricultural state, unlike some of the states where it's mainly corn growers, and in the Midwest, mainly cotton growers down south. Your average Pennsylvania farm is very diverse. Like in our case, we raise a full line of grain crops, We're also in the small fruit business. We also raise produce. There's eggs, there's pork, there's beef, there's dairy. Pennsylvania is a very diverse operation. However, we rank high in maple production, we rank high in egg production, we rank high in pork and potatoes. So, like I say, unlike our neighbors who are monoculture or one crop, it's very diverse here. To be a farmer, you really have to be a bookkeeper, a chemist, an agronomist. You have to understand insects. So, very, very, very heavy science. The STEM, the science, STEM, it's the engineering, maths, science the courses in college. So it's it's not your father's farming. It's very, very intense, large operations. It's funny, I met Dr. Paz, who's the CEO of Hershey. He says, you farmers get it. You do more with less. Medicine does less with more, he says all the time. So, but they say, and Pennsylvania, it's a great heritage. Our family, the farm that I live on right now, my kids are the seventh generation to live in the same farmhouse. So it was a sharecrop prior to 1842, and then when they bought the land, and there's 7 generations of Hetheringtons, including a Civil War officer in that family. So,
But do you think that people get it in terms of, I was always fascinated in conversations that I had with you about the risk that's involved in farming, about the weather in terms of how your crop can, you can make this investment and your crop can be destroyed. Talk a little bit about that.
it is. It's very, we are live and die by the weather, especially in the strawberry business. We have to worry about frost in the spring. We have to worry about too cold in the winter. If you get too much rain during strawberries, and that's just one crop. The same goes through with the other crops. However, we do have some tools available to us. The USDA does provide crop insurance that helps us to manage that risk. We can also, you can also go online and you can price some of your grain, pre-price it with the Chicago Board of Trade. So, your average farmer isn't just a worker. He's a bookkeeper. He's a risk manager. He's a scientist. So he takes a lot on the ball to be able to make it work. So.
What about a two-part question? My two-part question is, number one, and that would be, what is your favorite thing? And you can't count strawberry milkshakes, by the way, because that's my favorite. But what is your favorite thing about the farm show? And is there anything new this year that maybe hasn't been here in other years?
Well, we have a brand new woodmobile. We're standing in this play area right now. It's interesting because Pennsylvania, believe it or not, is one of the world's best producers of hardwood. We have about $1.7 billion in annual exports in Pennsylvania, and 2/3 of that's hardwoods. It's by far our biggest economic driver as far as exports. And that's, like I say, Christmas trees, hardwoods. The average person doesn't think about agriculture with that being involved. We also have aquaculture, raising fish, raising domestic shrimp, stuff like that, which is all part of agriculture also too.
What about is there a favorite thing here? Is there something that really that you look forward to more than other things?
Oh, I guess it's the livestock shows. You see some really sharp animals down here. Yesterday afternoon, Hatfield paid $10,000 for the Grand Champions hog. So that's a nice deal because there's some young person who's going to take that money and put it away for their college fund. Yesterday, the Scholarship Foundation gave out 24 scholarships, $3,500 each, and Penn State and Delaware Valley students who got the scholarship also were matched with money. So my son-in-law was a farm show kid, and he was trying to decide whether to go be a farmer or go to school to be a veterinarian. And between having a Grand Champion bull and getting a farm show scholarship, Justin decided to go to vet school. So,
Bootsy, what about one of the things I see them around all the time, PA preferred. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that means?
That was something that was enacted in 2011. The Corbett administration, working with Steve Bloom on the House Ag side and also with Senator Vogel, and that's our official branding program in Pennsylvania. What it is we do have some promotion money available. People who produce products in Pennsylvania or manufacture in Pennsylvania are allowed to use that brand and advertise. And I actually do a display competition at fairs. Schuylkill County, by the way, won second place. And we try to help folks understand local products and to match up the consumer with the local producer. Yingling ice cream, Yingling beer, all Gears Dairy products are all Pennsylvania preferred, all stuff raised locally. And there's been a big push recently toward people. People are discovering where their food comes from. They ask questions about it. They want to support local farmers and local producers. So it's been a great program, and it's matched well with the current trends. And by the way, the General Assembly has provided some funding. We appreciate that to help the program. We have a website. If you want to look for peaches, you type in peaches on the website and your address, and it'll tell you the Kenny Stara's peaches, tell you the Ken Schellemer's peaches, so you'll be direct consumers to the PA preferred products. So
Yeah, and I think it's important when we talk about our young people. When they buy their groceries, they go to the store, and this gives them the opportunity to come down and learn more about agriculture, be it dairy, be it potato farmer, be it a strawberry. It gives them a chance to learn that stuff doesn't appear on the shelf in the grocery store. That it's something, and the PA preferred situation, I really see a lot of that, and even when you go in restaurants now, you see some of that. What about the fairs, Boots? How many fairs did we do this year?
109. Well, it was 109 total. I made it to 95. I didn't quite get to them all. There's a week there in August where there's 30 fairs, and it's difficult to be 30 places in 7 days. But I do enjoy that assignment. The state does provide some financial support for our fairs during our agricultural displays. You talk about 2,000 and 3,000 contests. Doesn't sound like a lot when you have a $10 first prize and a $5, but you start adding 2,000 and 3,000 and 4,000. So the state does provide 50% reimbursement for the premium awards, and we do appreciate that, because what that does is it encourages people to bring out their best fruits, their best vegetables, their best cattle, their best swine to show. So we have 109 chances to show the public what agriculture is all about across Pennsylvania.
The fairs, when you visit a fair in Pennsylvania, they're so much different. I mean, when you go to the Schuylkill County Fair, it's so much different than than the, for example, the Berks County Fair or the Reading Fair.
Right.
They're little kind of fairs, and then you have the Allentown Fair, and is there a lot of difference between fairs?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. My youngest daughter last summer said, "Daddy, you've been to all these fairs now 3 times. What's your favorite fair?" I said, "Well, that's not a fair question, no pun intended, because they're all a little bit different." And our state president of the Fair Association, John Blaney, says we have 109 ways of doing the same thing differently. Some fairs have big carnival shows and a lot big entertainment. Some fairs do school bus demolition derbies. Carbon County Fair did a camper figure 8 demolition derby last year. Some have tractor pulls. Everybody has something different. So there are a lot of ways. They're similar as far as the competitions with the animal stuff, but each fair seems to have some niche that works for them. So it's a great family entertainment. You can cut your kid loose in the fairground. There's no worry about safety. It's a very, very easygoing, nice, safe place to be. With a few exceptions, most of the fairs don't have any alcohol on them, so it's like I said, it's a nice family place to have a good time. And some fairs have carnival rides, some don't. Like I say, everyone's a little bit different.
Dave Millard is always the guy that reminds me that the Bloomsburg Fair is the granddaddy of them all, huh?
It is. It's the biggest by far by attendance. Now, York Fair will argue. I guess York Fair is the oldest. They'll be celebrating their 250th anniversary next year, which means they were around before the Revolution. So, but once again, we have large fairs that are very intense and interesting with big name shows on the grandstands. But we also have a lot of smaller fairs that are just as much fun. So, and in some cases, like Lancaster County, they have 7 different fairs, and you'll see some of the same folks competing at different fairs all across the county. So.
Well, Boots, Baron Hetherington, it's always a pleasure to talk to you down here. I thank you for what you do in terms of fairs. I thank you for what you do for our county in terms of your operation, your strawberry operation. And, I do look forward to those strawberries each and every year. And it's a pleasure to be here. And we certainly hope that people will come out and continue to support both our fairs as well as our farm show. And again, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today, Boots.
I appreciate the kind words, Jerry, and I want to thank you and Representative Tobash and Representative Goodman for your support of the Fair Fund. Also, Senator Argel, Senator Schwank. It does mean a lot to us. It's not a lot of money it's put in, but you think about it, with fairs being agriculture and tourism, which are top 2 industries, it's a very nice small investment in our top 2 industries in Pennsylvania. The fairs do appreciate your support. We got back to fair funding full funding the last 2 years. It's been a big help. There was 4 or 5 fairs that I was afraid we were going to lose because of bankruptcy, but they're back on track and they're doing good shapes. And I really feel good about the fair situation this summer coming up. So.
Thank you so much, Boots.
My pleasure, sir.
Okay, we are here with Wayne Bender of the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. Wayne, it's good to be here. Tell me a little bit about what you do with the department.
I work for the Hardwoods Development Council, and Pennsylvania has the largest hardwood forest in the United States. And in 26 years ago now, the Hardwood Development Council was developed by the legislature to promote the forest products industry, to do economic development for the industry, public education. Part of my job is to help our companies do international and domestic marketing for the industry, as well as the public education.
Wayne, let's talk a little bit about the Woodmobile. What exactly is the Woodmobile?
Well, we're very excited this year about the Woodmobile. It's the new Woodmobile. We had our first Woodmobile for 12 years, and it has, in that time, we've had over 1.4 million visitors every year at the farm show. We've been in every county in the state. And our target audience with the Woodmobile is an educational program for elementary students, especially 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. And we've had over 145,000 documented, counted students and teachers that have visited the Woodmobile for at least a half hour to an hour program of education about the forest products industry and sustainable forestry.
So you go around visiting schools?
We do, and there's no cost to the school district. So all the elementary school has to do is contact me, and we set it up, and we come.
Well, listen, we're going to continue to talk, but before I forget, why don't you give me a number and a name where they can call, because I'd love to see the Woodmobile in my legislative district.
We've been in your district already, and several times, but I'll be glad to let you know what our schedule has now, and my telephone number is 717-705-3930. 3930.
That's tough because we never call ourselves, do we?
Right.
And how about Northern Berks? I now represent Northern Berks. I represent a portion of Schuylkill, and I represent a small part of Carbon. So I want to make sure that
We've
everybody.
been in all three of those counties.
Very good.
We'll be glad to come.
And talk a little bit more. I mean, this I've seen this in the past, but it seems like every year the Woodmobile gets bigger.
Well, this year it is a brand new Woodmobile, and it was completely done by donations from the industry. So no tax dollars are into this new trailer and all the new technology that's inside. 54 companies across the state either donated resources or product that went into that, as well as donations. And Deer Park Lumber in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania, Wyoming County, supplied the trailer, and then the rest of the industry stepped up to make it happen. Inside there are exhibits that are using modern technology. There's touchscreen technology that you can look to check about invasive species, insects, and diseases, how the white-tailed deer, and even how humans negatively impact the forest. And then there's a display case in there that's showcasing all the wood products and items that come from wood that you would never suspect, from everything from toothpaste to food items as an additive and all sorts of things. So the kids are having a lot of fun choosing and guessing the two items in the display case that aren't made of wood.
How long have you been with the department, Wayne?
I've been with the council 14 years.
And how many? This is the 99th. This is the 99th farm show. How many have you been at?
Well, I've been at all 14, but I started coming here from Sullivan County when my father would drag us along, and I was being pulled in one of the wagons.
And you know, that's interesting because so many guys like Boots Hetherington, who I interviewed earlier, as well as you, are people who come here when they're very young, and then when they go out into the workplace, many of you go to work for the Department of Agriculture or for some industry related to agriculture and farming. It's very interesting. Any other thoughts you want to share with me? We have about a minute left. Is there any other thoughts you may want to share about the Woodmobile?
Well, I just think it's important that the private landowners and the people of Pennsylvania understand that we have a very healthy forest. There's actually 5 times more growing resource in Pennsylvania. When I was born in 1955, 22.8 billion board feet of standing saw timber. Today we have 114, 5 times more forest resource in my lifetime. And the forest products industry is working in ways to make sure that we have that forest resource available for the future. Wood is the only green building material. When you come to all the other options, concrete, plastic, cement, aluminum, all those things, the carbon cost of production, they are all carbon positive. But we now have the science that shows that wood is carbon negative, even when we ship it anywhere in the world.
Well, Wayne Bender of the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, and one of the guys, I won't say the guy because I know there's a team, one of the guys that makes the Woodmobile happen. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us, and enjoy the rest of the farm show.
Thank you for your service to the Commonwealth as well as to those folks involved in the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Okay, we are here at the farm show, and I'm going to introduce you to 2 of my friends that I met here today. And first one is Olivia. Olivia, how are you today?
I'm very good.
And what is your last name?
Lesher,
And Olivia lives where?
Burnville, PA.
And look at Trixie. We're here with Trixie. And tell my friends what I'm doing here today with Trixie.
You will be showing Trixie in the Celebrity Showmanship Contest.
And tell me a little bit about Trixie.
She just turned a year old December 1st. She is a Jersey. I bought her in New York at the New York Spring Show at the sale. She was born in Canada.
Oh, very good. She's Canadian.
Yes, she is.
There you go. So where do you go to school?
I go to Hamburg.
Oh, very good. That's part of the district that I represent. And give me some words of encouragement and some words of advice.
Just keep going.
Just keep going. In other words, should I let Trixie just lead me around?
She'll do pretty good for you. She will help you.
But you told me before that she's a little bit spicy. What do you mean by that?
She's very peppy. She's very peppy.
Okay, well, I'll do my best, but I'm not going to make... Olivia, I'm up against some tough competition, so I'm not going to make any promises. But I want to thank you, as well as your folks are here, I see. And I want to thank you allowing me to borrow your cow. Am I saying it right? They're cows, right? There you go. That I can borrow your cow, and hopefully we can bring home a victory. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
And you enjoy the rest of the farm show. Okay?
You too.
Did you know that nearly 1,100 pounds of butter was used to make the butter sculpture for the 99th Pennsylvania Farm Show? This year's sculpture, the 25th year a butter sculpture has been displayed at the event, showcases a fundraising campaign for a first-of-its-kind food bank milk program. It was launched in Pennsylvania last year by the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, along with the Mid-Atlantic Dairy Association and the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program. The sculpture portrays a food bank worker pouring milk into a glass held by a boy with his mother. Watching on is a dairy farmer and his cow, who are standing next to a case filled with milk. The words, "Fill a glass with hope," is carved above. The sculpture was once again created by Jim Victor and Marie Pelton and took 10 days of work in the refrigerated case to turn the slabs of butter into a work of art. At the end of the farm show, the butter from the sculpture, which was donated by Land O'Lakes, will be given to a dairy farm in Juniata County. There, the butter will be converted to about 65 kilowatt hours of electricity to help power the farm and homes in the area. Now you know.
Okay, and we're here with Blair Hetherington. Blair, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And you are one of the Hetheringtons, one of the strawberry Hetheringtons?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, very good. I know that your mom and dad and your sister are very proud of you, and it's good to see you here. So tell me a little bit about Pennsylvania Honey Princess.
Well, I'm an employee for the Beekeepers Association, and I go around to schools, fairs, really any promotional event like Farm Show, to teach the public and children about the importance of bees.
Well, tell us a little bit about the importance of bees and the importance of honey.
Well, a big thing for us is if bees didn't exist, many things like my own personal strawberry farm and a lot of the commodity groups at Farm Show wouldn't exist.
That's very interesting because I don't know that we really think about that. And you are a student at Penn State?
Yes, that's correct.
And what year are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
And what are you studying?
I have a major in food science with a minor in horticulture.
Okay, and what are you going to do when you graduate? Do you have any idea?
My hope is to go into product development.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So you again are 2015 Pennsylvania Honey Princess. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not that I know of.
So you want to say hi to your mom and your dad and your sister back home? Like waving?
Hi, guys.
Blair, thank you very much for spending time with us today, and I encourage you to enjoy the rest of the farm show.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm State Representative Jerry Knowles. That's all the time we have today. I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to visit us here at the Pennsylvania 99th Farm Show. If you have any questions regarding today's telecast, or if you have any questions regarding state government, you can contact me. The information where you can do that will be listed at the bottom of your screen. Again, thank you, and see you on next edition of Legislative Report.